My name is Afton, and I am the founder of Heart of the West. Heart of the West is a documentary style storytelling project where I will sit down with individuals who live a Western life, whether that's ranchers, farmers, store owners, athletes, ambassadors, really anyone who lives in the West, and have them tell their story. The idea for Heart of the West came about 10 years ago in 2016 when I found the Facebook page Humans of New York. And I really loved the idea of being able to sit down with individuals of all walks of life and hear their really rich and individual stories, because every single person has a story. Most people just are never asked. And getting to see the depth of the human experience. My original idea for Heart of the West, because it was 2016, was to have a blog. I wanted to travel around and take people's pictures and then write down their story and share it that way. But then I got scared and did not do that. And the next time that Heart of the West came up was actually in the spring of 2017 when I was competing for a rodeo queen pageant. And my impromptu question for that pageant was, if you had a podcast, what would it be called and what would it be about? And podcasts were so brand new at the time. They weren't something that a lot of people knew about, and they definitely weren't something I really knew about. But I knew exactly what my podcast would be. It would be called Heart of the West, and I would sit down with individuals and have them tell me their story. And so that was my answer, and I ended up winning the category, which was super cool because that was my first pageant, especially on that level. And it really pushed Heart of the West back into focus for me. But I had no idea how to do a podcast. I barely knew what a podcast was. So once again, Heart of the West took a backseat to life. And this last winter, in the winter of 2025, I really decided that this is the time that this needs to happen. And I decided that the best way to go about it is to take my camera and sit down with people and have them tell me their story, and then take some video of just what they do every day. I grew up riding horses and being in the outdoors, and I really fell in love with the Western way of life and with agriculture in middle school and high school. In high school, I got really involved in our school's FFA chapter, and that was really a pivotal moment for me because I got to see that agriculture was more than just farming and ranching, where I didn't grow up with cows or livestock of any kind. We had a couple of horses and that was it. I didn't feel like I was somebody who could be involved in agriculture, but being able to see the communication side of things really changed that for me. And so I'm really excited to be able to share Heart of the West with everyone, and I hope that this is something that resonates with you and will be able to go on for years to come.